journey has been a process that has truly allowed me to see who God is, not who He is to Abraham, not who He is to Moses, not who He is to anyone else, but who He is to me. There were so many days that I was just consumed. So much uncertainty, so much pain, so much. My channel, my name is Shalane, and of course this is pretty much me just sharing my walk with God. So I haven't made a video in maybe 2-3 weeks, and the last video I made was kind of an indicator, or was the beginning of something that I didn't even realize was happening. Yes, so the last video I posted, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. I spoke a little about how I was feeling, just how I was feeling a little bit frustrated with just the process with waiting and all of that stuff, and what I learned, what the Lord was talking to me about in those moments. And after I made that video, the next couple weeks, 2 weeks or so, I've been pretty much going through the motion of recognizing that something was off, recognizing that I wasn't where I should be spiritually. I mean, I was still praying, I was still reading my word, I was still in the presence of the Lord. So it wasn't like I was drifting from God, but I felt like I had this burden that became so heavy. And instead of leaving it at the feet of the Lord, I was holding on to it. And I was carrying it without even realizing that I was carrying it. And it took me just crying out to the Lord. I'm like, God, I know something is happening because I can feel the shift in my spirit, but I'm not quite sure what it is. Because I felt like in those moments, I felt like I knew what I should be doing, but I had no desire to do them. I knew I should be making the videos as the Lord had led me to, but I had no desire to do it. I started to find excuse why analyze the feelings that I was feeling and to try to make them fit into me still serving God and being faithful to Him. So I started to question if He still wanted me to do the things that He explicitly told me to do. And I knew something was wrong, because God is a God that never changes mind. And this is how you know if a thing is from God. Once God says it, it has to be done. He doesn't say something to you and then change His mind tomorrow and say do something else. If you are led to do something and it's just so momentarily, and by tomorrow you say, no, this is not it, or whatever the case may be. If you were convicted today about something and tomorrow you feel like, no, it wasn't from God. Once God convicts you about something, when God speaks a word over your life about something, He watches over it to see to completion. God is not reckless with His word. He's intentional about every single detail of your life, of my life, was ordained. In Psalms 139, He said in 17, I think He said, all your days were ordained, was written in the book before you were even conceived. So nothing about the things that the Lord say to you are the desires that He has placed in you, the abilities that He has given you, the skill sets. Nothing about those were randomly placed. Everything was intentionally placed for you to be who you were created to be. Therefore, I had to start to search myself, because I knew something was wrong, because how I was feeling was going against the word, and His word never changed. It doesn't go void. And I started to pray. I'm like, God, what is going on with me? Reveal to me what is happening, because something is happening. I can feel the shift. I normally make videos for my social media. I don't want to make it anymore. And I'm like, God, what is happening? I feel like I don't even have anything to say. You know what I mean? And I really had to cry out to the Lord about it. I'm like, God, I don't understand what is happening. Can you give me some insight as to what I'm experiencing in this moment? And sure enough, He's so good. He's so faithful. He did just that. And I woke up like 3 a.m. and I was going to read my word, because I normally wake up early to read and study. Not necessarily 3 a.m. Normally I wake up like 4:35. But sometimes the Spirit wakes me up 3, 2, and so forth, and I get straight into prayer and so forth. However, I woke up like 3 a.m. and I'm like, okay, I said, I'm going to read the word. But somehow I went on to YouTube to play some music, and a video came up talking about, I don't remember the title of the video, but it was speaking about what I was experiencing. And as I was listening to the video, giving God all of you, because before I started to feel the way I felt, I made a decision like, you know what, I'm not even going to talk to God about my troubles anymore. I'm just going to let him do. I surrender it all to him. Let him do whatever he wants to do. I feel like I was at that place where I'm like, you know what, God, do you. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of stressing about it. I'm just tired of it. And I didn't realize, I thought I was doing a good thing when I said that. I thought I was like, you know what? I've grown, I've matured. I can give these problems to the Lord and just leave them alone and don't even think about them, no stress about them, no cry about them anymore. But what I didn't realize in that moment, that I was giving up. I thought I was surrendering it to God. I thought I was growing to that point where I don't have to think about my troubles anymore. I can focus on God. I even said, you know what, when I read the word, I'm not even going to read the word looking for answers or for comfort or whatever the case may be. I'm going to read the word just looking for God and to learn and to grow. And that is a marvelous thing. And that's why I started to feel so proud of myself. You know what I mean? Because I thought I was doing a good thing. I thought it was growth, maturity. But it took that video when they were talking about giving it all to, I think it's a better to get a video. They're talking about giving all to God. Don't hold back certain things. God wants all of us. And in that moment, the Holy Spirit started to convict me and telling me that, look, you believe that you are surrender, but you are giving up. And I started to really ponder what that meant, what it means to surrender, what it means to give up. The thing is, giving up meaning you lose all hope, you lose all faith. You are no longer standing in expectation. You're saying whatever it is, whatever. But when you surrender, you're saying, God, I know what I'm feeling. I know what it is like. I still recognize that I have this need, but I'm giving it to you. But I'm still standing in expectation. I'm still standing in faith. Still standing with all hope, knowing that you are a capable God who is able to do it. So I'm giving it to you, but not because I don't want it anymore. Not because I've given up and feeling hopeless like I will not get it. But I'm giving it to you because I know you are capable. And that is the difference. And that's what the Lord revealed to me, that look, you were saying you're going to just focus on certain things and not focus on your pain and not bring it to me because you were giving up. Because you're tired and you're frustrated and you're giving up. And he revealed it to me that what have gotten you to this place of inconsistency, of questioning my word, of just feeling this detached from the things that I've called you to do, is disappointment. And I was like, oh my God. And the Lord revealed to me that I was going through a process of dealing with the spirit of disappointment. I was overcome by that spirit of disappointment. And I really had to say, oh my God, you are so right. And as I started to really just own into what that meant, and the Lord started to really show me more of what that looked like, I realized that I truly was going through, without even realizing, that disappointment had overtook me to a point where I no longer wanted to do the things that the Lord called me to do. I no longer felt like I was capable of showing up because I was just felt like I'm just over it. Like, Lord, if you want to do it, do it. But I'm not even going to stand in expectation for it. And this is the thing, what we don't understand. The Lord wants us to stand in expectation, because to stand in expectation, to stand in hope, means to believe that He is to believe that He's able. It is to believe that He is working it out. The moment you get from that place of that expectation to a place where you're saying, Chuck, it's whatever, then you start to lose hope. Then you start to give up. Then you start to question the very nature of God. And I am glad that I didn't just allow that thing to overtake me. I cried out to the Father because I didn't understand what I was going through, but I cried out to the Father and asked Him to show me what is happening. Help me to make sense of why I am feeling the way I am feeling. And it went right back to the point that, look, we cannot allow our feelings to be dictator of whether we go or stay, whether we trust God or not, whether we stand in hope and expectation or not. We cannot trust our emotions. Our emotions are unstable. They changes like the waves of the sea. In James, it tells you that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. He cannot receive anything good from the Lord. When you are swayed by your emotion to and fro, it's hard for you to stand in expectation. It's hard for you to stand in the place that the Lord has purposed you to be. It's hard for you to stand knowing that God will come true. It's hard for you to believe because you're consumed with doubt. You start to say, what if? And what the Lord showed me months ago, he said to me, you cannot trust me. You cannot say you trust me. You cannot say you believe me and say, what if? Because I am not a what if God. I am a God who speak and it is done. I am a God, the moment I utter the word, it is complete. So you cannot say what if and say you trust me. Because if you say what if, that means there's a plan B. There is not a plan B with me. You might have a plan B, but I only have one plan. And that is the plan that I have for you that is good, to give you a hope and a future. That is the only plan. I created you with one plan. For you to walk in the identity I created you to be. For you to live in show up in the purpose that I have created you to show up in. We make plan B. God, if God don't do this, then I can do this. Or if this doesn't happen, then no. If God has a plan B, that means he's a God who changes his mind. If he has a plan B, then he's not a God who never changes. If he has a plan B, if he's a what if God, then his word do go void. And we know that's a lie, because the word tell us, the Bible tell us that the word is true and it's pure. And it doesn't go void. And the moment he utters a word, he watches over it to see it to completion. The moment he utters a word, it has to fulfill. So he cannot give you a word. He cannot tell you who you are and then change his mind about you. So if he said go there, there's no what if about it. There's just when and how. And what he has showed me time and time again, that when and how is how we stay connected to him. The when and how of our story, of our journey, is how we stay at his feet surrendered. The when and how is how we keep praying without ceasing. The when and how is how God stays in control. Because if we dictate how and we dictate when, then we don't need God for anything. We start to do things on our own. But when we are so reliant on him to do it his way, in his timing, then we can stay humbly at his feet, surrendering all to him, trusting him that he knows, even when we can't understand it, even when it makes no sense to us, even when we can't see it. He knows how to work it out. He knows how to make our way through the waters. He knows how to take me through this fire and not be burnt. And this is the beauty of God. Because in that moment, he was correcting me, because I really had to get to a place where I repented. In that moment, he was correcting me, but he was correcting me in such a loving, kind, tender way that I felt like I had to fall at his feet and worship him and ask him to forgive me for just ever even questioning his ability to take care of me, to make it work even when it looks impossible, to comfort me when I'm broken and I'm sad. He showed me in that moment that I don't want you to run from me when you are sad. I want you to come to me. I don't want you to hide behind that strength that you portray, because I'm a person, I don't like to be vulnerable. I am the strong friend. Let's put it that way. That is always okay. The Lord said, I don't want you to be that person with me. I want you to be you. Every part of you. I want the strong and the weak and the broken. I want every part of you. And the Lord showed me that in that moment, what I was doing, I was closing away how I was truly feeling. And I was building a hard place to hide it behind. And behind that hardness, I was hiding it from him, even though his word says he is close to the brokenhearted and those who are contrite in spirit. I was hiding that pain because it was just too much. And instead of bringing it to him and allow him to give me the rest, I felt like I've been doing that for months and nothing has been changing. So I'm like, God, you know what? I'm just going to tuck it away, forget about it. And he was like, no, because if you tuck it away, then you're going to harden your heart. And you're not only going to harden your heart towards me, but you're going to harden your heart towards everything that I am doing in you. And you will get to a place where you feel separated. And that's where I was. I felt like though I was praying, though I was reading the word, I felt so apart from the Spirit of God because of how I started to harden my heart, so I did not feel the pain. I was tired of crying. I was tired of waiting. I was tired of hoping. So I felt like if I took those feelings away and I just try to be strong and do whatever, then I'll be okay. And the Lord said, no. I want you to bring all of you to me. I want all of you. The broken, the sad, the happy, the strong. I want all of you. And in that moment, I'm like, God, I love you so much. Because you know how to correct us in a way that just so consumes us with love and comfort. I'm like, God, I adore you. And I just started to worship. I started to pray. And he started to just work on me in such a beautiful way to bring the things that I've been holding inside of me that was separating me from moving forward. And as I continued on, I went into a 7-day fast where from that moment he highlighted to me that it was discouragement that was creeping and taking over me and separating me from who he is and what he is doing. Then he started to just unfold the things that have been hindering me, and some of those things are I wrote them in my journal, because let me tell you, some of those things were so disappointment. Then he reminded me of this verse that he gave me, Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, I am with you. Do not be dismayed. I am your God. I will help you. I will strengthen you with my righteous right hand. And he started to show me the things that have been burdening me down, which are disappointment, frustration, sadness, feeling let down, feeling discontent, feeling dissatisfied. These are the things that I've been feeling throughout this year. It has been such a journey. It has been such a talk. I don't know. This year has been a very memorable year. Let's put it that way. And it's not because things were so great, but because I felt lost. I felt different. I felt like everything crumbled and I'm gonna have to start over. And when I look at everything around me, everything just seemed broken. But I'm standing. And I remember a dream that the Lord gave me in 2020 or 2021 when everything was perfectly fine. He said I had a dream where there was an earthquake and everyone was just scattering all over. And I was standing in this spot, and as I was about to leap off to jump to another spot, as everyone was doing, the Lord told me, don't move. And I stood there and he said, don't move. And I didn't move. And when I stood there, the spot that I was going to jump on fell, crumbled, and everything was falling. I was standing in that one spot that didn't break. And I held on to that dream. I knew it meant something. At the time, I didn't know what it meant. But standing in today, I know now what it meant, because I feel like I'm standing in that one spot. And the Lord is saying, don't move. And when I look around me, every single thing is just breaking. Everything is crumbling. Everything is falling. And I'm standing in this one spot. And if I stay in this one spot, I'm fine. That's my year. That's the year I've had. So these feelings is as a result of just hoping all year that things will just change. Like, just things will just turn around. Things will get better. Like, just really holding on to that hope and expectation. And we're here at the last month of the year. So can you imagine hoping all year long things did change, but not what I was expecting. I was filled with disappointment, filled with just feeling frustrated, dissatisfied, discontent. And the Lord really had to show me, even I cannot trust those emotions. Even though I was feeling, I can recognize that that's how I'm feeling. It's okay to recognize those feelings, but you can't stay there. You cannot allow them to consume you. You have to fight those negative emotions with the truth of God. That though I was frustrated, though I was discontent, God was present. Can I just tell you, when I look back at the year I had, I can say every step of the way God was present. He was my provider. He was my protector. He was my keeper. He was my strength. He was my comfort. He was my friend. I got in the middle of all the turmoil that I had. I said I had God. I had him every step of the way. Like I'm just reflecting on the months after months, and every single step I took, he was there. And this is what we have to do when we are overcome with these negative emotions, these feelings that are so unstable. Sometimes, yes, you will be disappointed. Yes, you will be frustrated. Yes, you will be discontent. But God is telling you, when you feel those things, you need to remember the truth that I am with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. I will help you. I have a plan for you, to prosper you, to give you a hope and a future. I know how to use all things for my good, for your good and for my glory. I am the God who is in control, who never sleeps or never slumbers. I am the God who sees you and will carry you through. Though you go through the storm, the fire, you will not be burned. Though you go through the water, you will not drown, because I am with you. Fear not, child. I am with you. Do not be dismayed. I am your God. I will fight for you. I will help you. I will hold you up with my righteous right hand. And when you can proclaim the truth of God over the lies of the enemy, because the enemy wants you to be consumed with doubt. He wants you to be consumed with fear. He wants you to be consumed with disappointment and frustration, because these are the things that separate us from God. These are the things that come upon us and we pull away rather than get closer. And in those moments, the Lord says, come closer to me, daughter. Come closer to me, my child. Let me take care of you. Let me comfort you. Let me show you that I still do have a plan. But this process, it's a process that I'm using for you to see who I am. That's what this journey has been for me. This journey has been a process that has truly allowed me to see who God is. This journey has been a process that has truly allowed me to see who God is. Not who he is to Abraham, not who he is to Moses, not who he is to anyone else, but who he is to me. There were so many days that I was just consumed. So much uncertainty, so much pain, so much hurt. So much desire for things to change for better. And in those moments when I still couldn't see the light, I felt him so close to me, just holding me, just comforting me, just lifting the burdens. And I can truly say that there were days that I'm like, God, I don't know what tomorrow, I just don't know. And it's just too much. But all he said was, trust me. Trust me. Trust me. And I kept holding on to him, though it was hard. I kept holding on. And I'm not at the end of the race. It's still going. I didn't get all the answers. Things didn't change magically. I'm still standing in hope. I'm still standing in expectation. But I can say with all, I can still say that I'm not standing alone. And he never left me. He was with me every step of the way. And I'm grateful. I am grateful. And this is just, you don't have to wait until you get to the promise to say that God is faithful. You don't have to wait until the thing that you're waiting to happen to say that God is good and he's faithful and he's true and he's loving and he's kind. I can stand in the midst of things still not looking how I want them to look and say, God, you are good. And if I never get the things that I am hoping for, if they never come to pass, if the things that I'm expecting to change never change, you are still good. You are still God. You are still faithful, and I still worship you. Because even in the midst of everything looking so chaotic, you are present, you provided, you made a way, you kept me. Oh my God, I am grateful. I am just grateful that he's a God who keeps. I'm grateful today that we serve a God who truly keeps. He's truly present. He's truly able to keep us. Some things are ordained in our story. Even the painful things that we go through are part of our story. They were written in order for us to become who we were supposed to become. I truly believe that though this season, this chapter is a painful chapter, I believe that it's a life-changing chapter for me, because it's how I get to see God as my friend, as my shelter. So when troubles come again, because they are sure to come, in this world we will have troubles, but know that we serve a God who overcame this world. So troubles cannot hold us down. Nothing can hold us down, because Jesus Christ rose. He died for us so that we might be redeemed, we might have hope. And he rose, so in that no matter how low we get, we can rise also. And I can say that this is not the end of my story. Pain is not the end. I know the enemy want me to believe that things will never change and this is what it is, but I refuse to accept that. This is not the end, but this is a process that is necessary for me to see God as who he is, for me to stand and say, God, I can help someone going through circumstances, say, look, God will never leave you, because I truly experienced that he's a keeper. So I know that this process, though painful, it has made me stronger. It has made me see God differently. It has made me build my hope and my confidence and my faith in God beyond any word I could ever express to you. And I'm eternally grateful. And as I'm in December reflecting on what God is doing, I still don't know. There are things that he has purposed me to do, and I will just continue and try to be obedient in doing them and not allow fear. And the last year, December 31st, the Lord said to me, do not allow fear to cripple you in the new year from stepping into that which I've promised. Claim the promise. That was my word for the year. Claim it. This month of December is my month of stepping over through Jordan into Jericho. If you've read the story of the children of Israel, they were in the wilderness for 40 years. And when they were at the brink of stepping into the promised land, there was a body of water, Jordan, that separated them from the promise. So they were in the wilderness, the water, and then the promise. And they were looking at that thing again, like the Red Sea. How are we going to get over there? And the Lord gave them specific instruction. He said, when the priest told Joshua, sanctify the people, when the priests holding the Ark of the Covenant, which represented the presence of the Lord, when they rest their feet in the water, I will separate the water, and my people will go through on dry ground. No, as they were walking up to the water, and there's something profoundly that was said also in that chapter. I'm gonna find it real quick. And the Lord said to as Joshua was telling them to get ready, and this is Joshua 3, if you have a chance, read it. As Joshua was telling them to get ready, it says, when you see, so after 3 days, order the people to give this order to the people. When you see the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord your God and the Levite priests carrying it, you are to move out from your position and follow it. Then you will know which way to go, since you have never been this way before. When you see the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord move out, that is the presence of the Lord. When you see that move out, you follow. Move from where you are. Move out of where the position you are in and follow it. Why should you follow it? Because then you will know which way to go, since you have never been this way before. I don't know about you, but I know I've never walked the road that he's taken me before, and I cannot walk that road without him. As Moses said in Exodus 33, Father, if you are not going with us, I don't want to go. Likewise, I'm saying, if I am not walking behind the presence or with the presence or in the presence of the Lord into this place that he's taking me, I don't want to go. But the moment the presence of the Lord moves out, I am moving with it. I will not be crippled by fear. I will not be crippled by doubt. I will not be crippled by disappointment. I will not be crippled by frustration. I will move out. Because I am about to embark on a journey, on a road that I've never taken before. And I know I cannot make it on that road unless the presence of the Lord is leading me. He is my eyes and my feet. He is my direction, my light. He's a light and a lamp unto my feet. He will tell me, as in Jeremiah, I think 31, verse 21 says, I will tell you to look left or right. You will hear a voice telling you to go left or right. That is the presence of the Lord. So as I am embarking and crossing over onto territory that I've never been before, I'm just consumed. I just want to be in the presence of the Lord. And he said, because you've never been there before. In order to go to places you've never been before, in order to do the things that you never did before, the things that the Lord has called you to do, you have to go with God. His presence makes a difference. Each time in scripture that the Lord is sending his servants, he said, when they have fear, when they start to question, he said, fear not, I am with you. That is our assurance that he is with us. If you're going to go in these places without God, then you will be consumed. But when you go with God, when you have the assurance of his presence with you, then you know that you already have the victory. And this is why his only assurance his assurance is never to tell you, oh, this is gonna happen, that is gonna happen, and give you a vision of the entire thing. No, his assurance is, each step you take, know that I am with you. And if you know that I'm with you, then you will lean onto me, not lean onto your own understanding. You will seek me first. You'll surrender to me. You'll ask me before you make a step. You'll follow my direction. Then I will be able to lead you into victory. And like he did with the children of Israel, the moment they stepped into Jordan, the moment the priest stepped into Jordan, the water parted. They could say, oh, part the water. Normally this is us. We want to see the water parted before we step in. We want to know the entire journey before we start on that journey. Because we want this. We want to be so certain. But if you are so certain, if there's a scripture in Romans, I think 8 says, or 12, one of them, I don't remember. It says, if you have what you're hoped for, then what reason would you have to hope? It's the same thing. If you see the path so plain and clear, then you have no reason to hold on to the hands of God. You have no reason to seek him. You have no reason to pray. It comes back down to that how and that when, the being ultimately up to God. That's how he stays in control. Because if he shows us the journey, then we'll run ahead of him. We'll no longer need him. We'll forget about him and start going. But he's saying, you have to stand in hope. You have to stand in expectation. You have to stand in faith, believing that though I don't see it, it is already done. They had to believe that though the water is coming roaring, they said it was a time of harvest, so the waters were running over. Though I see this big body of water in front of me, there's no way I can cross it. The Lord said if I should just go and put my feet in it, and he will make a way in it. So you know what, though I don't understand it, though it makes no sense, I will put my feet in it and allow the will of the Lord to be done. And likewise, and just as is, the priest, when they put their feet in, if the priest never put his feet in the water, if they never put their feet in the water, it wouldn't have separated. God is calling us to step out into the places that he has called us to be, because we will not see how it's going to turn out. We will not see how it's going to make sense until we make that first step. When they put their feet in the water, that's when it separated and they were able to cross on dry land. I don't know about you, but I know the Lord is telling me, go out. I've been standing at the bank for so long, being so afraid to step out because of fear, because of doubt, because of these what ifs. But I am determined, no, doesn't matter how I feel, I must do what God has called me to do. I don't care what it looks like. I must show up. I must see the hands of the Lord move. So I'm about to cross over my Jordan, and I hope you guys are about to cross over yours, or if you've already crossed, kudos to you. If you're walking up, like wherever you are on this journey, if you're still in the wilderness, hold on to the steadfast hand of God, because he's able to keep you. Wherever you are on this journey, God is faithful. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Keep holding on to his righteous right hand and trust him to take care of you through to the very end. I am so eternally grateful. I don't know how I'm going to do it, guys. There are things that the Lord has purposed me to do that I don't know how I'm going to do it. I mean, I can't do it. Let me just rephrase that. Because this is what the Lord told me. You are waiting to be able to do it. You are waiting to be confident in yourself that you can do it. You will never have that confidence because you cannot do it. Your confidence should be in me. I am your confidence. I am your assurance. Trust me that even though you feel inadequate, even though you feel like you don't have the resources, even though you feel like you cannot do it, like Moses said, I cannot talk. You have to trust that I know how to make it happen. So be confident in me. Because when we start to get confident in ourselves, that is pride. We start to think that we don't need God and we got it all covered. God is always going to take us to a place where we are dependent on him. So I want to be so confident in God that even when I don't know how it's going to happen, I can say, God, I am stepping out. I am coming. I am moving. Because you are God and you're in control and you have written this story and you are walking this thing out with me, but you've already gone to the end of it already. So if you're telling me to go on this path, it's because it's the best path for me. Even if it looks like it's going to be filled with lots of bumps and bruises, I know, God, that you are there and you will pick me up. It says, our scripture in Proverbs says, a righteous man falls 7 times and he rise again. He can only rise again because of the strength of the Lord. He said, my strength is made perfect in your weakness. I don't know how it's going to happen, guys, but I'm really just fighting against everything in me that would cause me to be crippled and to move in obedience into that which the Lord has called me to do. I pray this blesses you. Yeah, this is pretty much what's been going on over the past couple of days, well, a couple of weeks. I've overcome the discouragement and the disappointment. I've fasted, and I felt like I've gotten a new insight. I'm gonna do a video on fear and doubt. Those are the things that I was praying about while I was fasting. I'm praying against the spirit of doubt, the spirit of fear, the spirit of just to have a sound mind, for faith, for strength. I was praying for all these things, and I'm gonna do a video on it because God gave me a good insight on fear, and I want to share it. So I'll do that. But in the meantime, thank you so much. Yeah, pray for me. I'm gonna need all the prayers I can get, but I'm trusting God. I'm believing God. I am depending on God truly, because He is a keeper. He has kept me, and I know He will continue to keep. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, share to someone who might be a blessing to. All right, guys.